Secrets hidden in plain sight. Powers that move the world in the shadows. Questions no one dares to answer. Step beyond the Matrix. Subscribe.
Alright. Not a lot of people are talking about this shit. But I have seen quite a few videos of people doing this shit. And I was in such disbelief, I had to do the experiment my damn self. And then come to find out I got the exact same result. Y'all peep this shit. Now, there has been rapid videos of people leaving out ice cream. They're leaving out food products and everything like that. They just leaving it outside just to see how Mother Nature is going to react. And when I meant by Mother Nature, I'm talking about the bugs and the little rodents and all this other bullshit, right? People has been leaving out items outside, and these bugs and these animals are not touching it. Let me say this one more time for the people in the back. People have been leaving out food just to see how Mother Nature is going to react as far as the bugs and the rodents are concerned. They are not touching that shit. So I did the experiment myself because I was in extreme disbelief. And I got the exact same motherfucking result. The only difference is I used a piece of fucking bread. You know, the piece of bread that normally a fucking duck would get. Normally a freaking little cat. Or even a bunch of fucking ants. They are not touching our food at all. If that is not Mother Nature trying to tell y'all that something is wrong with our food within this country, I really don't know what the fuck to tell you, because that is fucking weird. That is scary. That is strange. Now that kind of had you wondering, what the fuck are they feeding us at these motherfucking grocery stores?
Want to know my favorite conspiracy theory? Well, it's that there's an ongoing 6,000-year conspiracy by fallen angels, secret societies, and descendants of the Nephilim that is hell-bent on enslaving humankind under an oppressive one-world government that is hostile to God, because they think that they somehow can still win even though God is the creator of everything and has already won. What's your favorite conspiracy theory?
Okay, so I know I'm known to be a conspiracy theorist, but this conspiracy theory just feels right. It rings true to me. And this one's regarding the NFL. I think we can all agree that there were an odd amount of missed field goals this season. And not just regular missed field goals or regular extra points, but game-deciding points. So before I make any accusations or put out some false information, I decided to do a little research and make sure that what I'm saying is accurate. Well, it turns out my memory is pretty darn good, because the 2025 season actually does have an odd amount of football games where the deciding factor of who wins the game was based off of a missed field goal. Now, I'm going to actually show you guys the information that I was given, okay, so that you can see that from 2019 till now, there is a upward trend of football games that the field goal at the end of the game was the deciding factor on who wins the game. All right, so I have a summary table here from the 2017 season through the 2025 season for estimated missed field goals that mattered. And as you can see, there's a nice little fire emoji next to the 2025 season. Why? Because it has the most. Okay, so we see here 2019, we have 8 missed game-winning field goals with an estimated high leverage misses between 28 and 32. For 2020, we have 6 and 30 to 35. That was a little bit of a jump there. Now we have 2021 season with 7 missed game-winning field goals and 32 to 36 high leverage. 2022, we have 8 and 38 to 42 high leverage misses. Going to 2023, 7 We have estimated high leverage misses of 33 to 37. 2024, we have 9 and 42 to 47 estimated high leverage misses. Now look at this 2025 number. It jumps. Highest clutch miss impact of the span. Okay, guys? Now, as we all know, fans at the stadium, if they happen to get a game day ball, they must return it. And people say, well, that's because there's a chip inside the balls that record accuracy and statistics and speed, and that is the reason. But I don't know, I'm not buying it. Now, I have seen videos of people saying that even though there could be a chip in the ball, that there's also some sort of a magnet or some sort of a shock device that can manipulate the ball while it's moving. Okay, so that all kind of makes sense, doesn't it? And I just want to show you this one clip. There's clearly no wind in the air, and this ball just suddenly just shanks to the side out of nowhere. It's odd. All right, guys, look at this. No wind. And look at this ball. Wild. I mean, guys, that video is so obvious. That itself is all the proof you need that there's most likely some shenanigans going on in the NFL. And I'm sure you guys are saying, Heather, you're silly. You're a conspiracy theorist. You're just mad because the Packers lost. I am annoyed that the Packers lost, obviously. I'm a diehard Packers fan. But I knew we were going to lose the game when we were up 21-3 at the half. I knew we were going to lose the game. And that's kind of going off track. But back to what I was talking about is the reason that the NFL would want to be able to manipulate games is because guess what reached its record high this year in 2025? Gambling on the NFL games. This is strictly NFL games only. $30 billion. It's a $30 billion business. And you're going to tell me with all of that money, there's no corruption? So with that being said, I mean, I can go on and on about this, to be honest, but I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think I'm just a sore loser that's mad that the Packers lost? Or do you think that a $228 billion entertainment company like the NFL is colluding with a $30 billion business with gambling? Like, which one do you think makes more sense? I don't know, but you tell me.
Yo, Trump is about to go all in nuclear energy, and this is how we can come the fuck up. Make sure y'all save and watch this video to the end just in case he try to take this shit down. Sorry for my language, y'all. It's just in me, you feel me? Basically, look, this nigga Trump said that he's going all in on nuclear energy. Now look, this is where it gets interesting, right? On January 27th and the 28th, there's going to be a nuclear summit in New York. They're supposed to be announcing that they're going to tokenize nuclear energy. This is why people are hyped and looking at this shit, because JP Morgan and Elon is going to be looking at this type of shit. Just peep. Now this peep that World Liberty Financial had added them to the list. And y'all know I had to go on Deck Screener and see if there was something going on about this shit, and I found it. FNF, Federal Nuclear Energy Funds. This shit could go parabolic. Y'all already know I be catching all the crazy shit. Not financial advice, but I definitely ate the bag.
I think Bluetooth can read our minds or hear our thoughts. So let me explain this very thoroughly. I was checking my backup email because I used it for something and I was waiting to get a reply. That email is attached to another TikTok account that I have, and I had an email saying that someone from my contacts, which isn't even connected to that TikTok account, is on TikTok and was recommending them. I left out that I had an AirPod in my ear. So the contact was Jessica. I don't have a Jessica in my contacts. But the way my brain worked, I saw TikTok and Jessica, and the first thing that popped in my head was Jessica Russell. My girlfriend shows me her videos all the time. She's hilarious. So that's where my mind went. Obviously, she's not in my contacts, but that's who I thought of. So like 2 minutes later, I go on Facebook because I'm looking for something on Marketplace, and I just happened to scroll on the home page, and it got to that point where there's like suggested videos. And I always stop and look at them because they're always some garbage AI slop. But who do I see on the video recommendation? Jessica Russell from TikTok. Now, I've heard the theory that we see things and don't think about them, and then when we do think about them and we see them again, we think it's like this weird coincidence. Like I just said, I always look at them because I always think that these videos are so stupid, and like clearly AI and people comment on them and ask if it's real and think it's real. So I know that I've never seen her videos on there before, and it's not even actually her, it's just somebody reposting them. But when I saw it, I literally just dropped my phone on my desk and was like, that's really weird that I just thought about her name, and within 5 minutes I'm seeing a video on a different app of this person, and I don't know. Yeah, maybe Bluetooth, headphones, AirPods, whatever, can hear our thoughts. I don't know. Let me know what you think, if you've had any weird things like this happen. It was definitely interesting, and I can't stop thinking about it.
Not to be a conspiracy theorist or nothing, but did y'all notice how the government was talking about that nobody was spending enough money since Christmas and that the economy was down? And then next thing you know, we was having a mystery winter storm and everybody had to hurry up and go to the store and buy a bunch of groceries real fast and spend up all the money that they didn't really have to stimulate the economy. Right after the stock market had crashed, then next thing you know, inconveniently the storm was supposed to be further south, and so they had everybody in the southern parts of Tennessee and everyone buying up everything, and then the storm suddenly moved further north, and so they had everybody north buying stuff, and it just...
Boy, it's always them septum rings. Them motherfucking bull rings. Every fucking time. Over 200,000 people like that lady's post. 200,000 people. You know, you remember when we all heard that China had passed that law over there in their country where they said you have to be an expert to talk about certain things? They were on to something. America would never do that, but, you know. So you think that our incompetent special ed ass government full of old boomers can devise a way to create literal winter storms and then manipulate the movement of said weather system so that they can manipulate the stock market and get y'all niggas to go spend y'all money on bread, milk, and eggs? I mean, all they have to do is make cheesecake tubs viral and y'all niggas will go spend money. They don't have to create weather systems to make y'all go spend y'all's fucking money. It's like y'all want to believe everything but science, as if things like jet streams don't exist. Things like the barometric system or geometric pressure, you know, things that actually move weather systems. As if weather systems, once the meteorologists say this is going to happen, can't change, you know, because, you know, the earth, you know. And I'm not even like a meteorologist or a scientist specialist or anything of that nature. I just remember some key terms from a geology class I had to take. When you guys admit that, oh, well, they can use cloud seeding to make weather, you're basically saying that they can create water, right? So if we had the ability to create an entire weather system that would span across the entire, damn near the entire US, and then manipulate the movement of said weather pressure, why the fuck are we fighting for Greenland right now? Answer me that. If governments had this ability, why would we be fighting over fresh water resources right now? because that's what Greenland is about. Freshwater resources, a finite resource that is going to be something that we eventually fight wars over because we don't have enough and we keep wasting it. So if we could create these things to, renew the water cycle, why the fuck would we be fighting over these things? Iran is literally they're out of water. They're out of water. And if governments had this ability, I'm just using this, right? Because if we had the ability to manipulate the weather to that degree, right, they wouldn't need to go take an entire country to power these data centers with the fresh water that they need. Just saying. Nobody tells y'all dumbasses to run out every time there's a natural, event that they talk about, whether it's a hurricane, a snowstorm, and y'all run out and buy stupid shit y'all don't fucking need. Nobody tells y'all to do that shit. But y'all dumbasses.
Why does the greatest speech of the 20th century, the I Have a Dream speech, have that logo at the bottom of it? Maybe you're not familiar what that logo is. Well, let me show you. That logo is this logo, the Freemason logo. Now, why don't we look at what very famous 33-degree Freemason Albert Pike had to say? Whenever the people need a hero, we shall supply him. Now, this isn't a real picture. These two supposedly never met. But you know what they have in common? That. And you know who else they also have something in common with? This guy, another hero that they supplied. And you know what else he has in common with these guys? And in particular, his speech? That's right. You ever notice what his symbol looks like? Let me make it a little more clear for you. Now, I just dropped a 6-minute video in my subscriber area, not only proving that he is still with us, but exactly who he became. This could be a pretty sensitive subject.
Understands by now that every single thing that we're watching happen in this country and this world is being done intentionally. Every single move that they make is strategic and has been planned out for decades with a single goal in mind. Now, if you are a spirit-filled, Bible-believing Christian, then you know what that goal is. But if you are not, if you don't own a Bible, if you do not believe in God, and you don't really know what is going on, then let me shed some light on the subject for you. They want complete control. They want a world where people will be confined to their own area. Now, you also will be monitored 24/7. You will have zero privacy. So every single thing that you buy, everywhere that you go, every step that you take, every person that you interact with will be monitored. And you won't own anything, so you won't own a home. You'll rent a home, you'll rent a little pod, if you will. You'll rent even your bread maker. You will not own anything, but don't worry, they tell you that you'll be happy with that. Now, what they will also desire is that every single person be 100% dependent on them. So you will have universal basic income. Nobody will work because the entire society, the entire economy, the entire world will be ran by robotics. And that's exactly what we're starting to see now. Companies are laying off thousands of employees and replacing those employees with said robotics. They are also cutting benefits and cutting funding for food banks. Now, regardless of your political affiliation, regardless of your opinion on the matter, there were real people, elderly and children and single mothers, who were dependent on those benefits. Now, again, regardless of your opinion on the matter, what this situation does is it creates organized chaos. It puts people in a state of need. It puts people in a state of chaotic mindset. It puts people in a riot mindset. It puts people in looting mindsets. And what that ultimately does is creates a need for a total surveillance system. It creates a need for the military to step in and for this to be implemented. It creates a need for a total surveillance system ran by this company. Everything that we are watching is biblical. Everything that we are watching is intentional. But the sad reality is the majority of what we read, the majority of what we see on the news is a distraction. It is not the reality of what is happening. The reality of what is happening is straight biblical, it is straight spiritual, it is straight demonic, and it is happening behind the curtain. The ultimate endgame goal with all of this is this. And it is something that you will insert into your body that will allow you to participate in society. So without this, you will be completely cut off from society. That means no grocery store. That means you will not be able to own a vehicle. You will not be able to rent a vehicle. You will not be able to rent an apartment, a home. You will not be able to own a home. You will not be able to purchase clothing. You will be completely cut off from society. No water, no food, nothing. You will also be hunted down and unalived. And that is the reality of what is coming. That is not to fearmonger. That is to educate, because that is the biblical truth. That is what is happening. And we are watching the beginning stages. We are watching the organized chaos be implemented. We are watching all of this strategically be done to create a world that will ultimately end in that. Now, if you get this mark in order to buy food for your family, in order to stay alive, it will alter your DNA in such a way that you are no longer fully human. And that is the goal. Because
there's no way that y'all just don't think that like the person who's like predicting all these things on The Simpsons isn't like in on it, right? We need to stop calling shit a coincidence, because there's no fucking way that y'all really think that, right? The reason that they could predict shit like the way that they do is because it's already written out. Like, literally, the world is a stage. That's why I just don't even give a fuck about the news or any of that, like, fake-ass shit that they be talking about. Because it's like, they plant the seeds and they've been playing in our face. And then it's, like, always the truth. That's why they make it into a cartoon, so it's, like, less believable or whatever. But at the same time, it's, like, there's just no way that y'all are thinking that, like, The Simpsons has just predicted so many things and y'all aren't looking into why. It literally scares me to see how gullible people can be. Like, when you kind of run an idea past them and they're already so closed off, I'm like, oh my god, like, it's weird. They're just so sleepy.
Cloud seeding. Okay, so people are talking about this winter storm that hit when all of a sudden we've got the stock market crashing. They're telling us our economy's tanking. We need to get out there and we need to spend some money. And everybody's like, no, we're getting tight with our wallets because we don't know what's happening here. And then all of a sudden we've got this massive storm coming in. You've got snow, you've got rain, you've got ice. And then they're sending people out and they're overstocking, right? They're over consuming instantly, like they wanted us to do. Think toilet paper, COVID, okay? Did the government plan this storm to happen? Which next time, if you're going to do that, if there is some truth to this, can we get it on a Monday or a Tuesday, please? And thank you. Now, did the government plan this storm to happen by sending up planes that leave those little jet streams and they're crissing and crossing up in the air and they're changing the weather on us? Is that what's really going on? Or is it just good old Mother Nature and the entire atmosphere is shifting and just bringing on a by chance storm? At this point in my life, I don't even know what to believe anymore.
You done met up with Jaden. That's it. You know what this means, guys. You know what this means. Later, Kai. They almost got away with this picture, guys. What do you see? Look at Kai's hand. Look at Jaden's hand. You know what time is it. And this was before he switched up on us. And why is he walking around with a journal in his hand? He couldn't leave that in the car. Of course he couldn't. He's taking notes. Shh. Shut up. What's up with his eyes? You know what they say, guys. The eyes don't lie. And Kai looks disconnected. Shh. What happened to AMP? What happened to your peoples, bro? I wonder what they have to say about this. Or can they say something about this? Because I haven't heard none of them speak. And I know they feel the same way everybody else feels. This is the Kai that we know. The Kai that was streaming, having fun, doing this thing. Now he's all serious, taking pictures, holding journals. I mean, look at this picture, guys. Kai is smiling and Jaden looks really serious. Like, yeah, we got you now, Kai. Kai was the reason why people started streaming. What if him stepping away makes other streamers step away and go the same route? Something to think about when there's nothing to think about, guys, because this video is for entertainment purposes only, and I'm happy for Kai. He stepped his game up. He matured at a young age. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think about this. I'm out.
It's dark and demonic energy that this industry was built on. And people manipulate young women, they manipulate kids, and at the end of the day, it's all for the dollar and all to feed their ego. So I've seen some shit where you're like, that's just not right. Like, that's just, that person shouldn't be talking to that person. That person shouldn't be in the room with that person alone. When you're in this position to change people's lives, and you hold the keys to what they consider success, you see a different aspect of the person. People will do anything to achieve their goals, and then people will manipulate and misuse that energy to get what they want.
Everything that Nick Cannon said in this interview explains exactly how Hollywood is. He explained how people manipulate people when they're coming up and rising into fame. And we've seen this with people such as Harvey Weinstein and others. He also explains his own experiences where he's seen things that he just doesn't believe is right. And what's even more disheartening, he talks about how the industry manipulates kids. So drop in the comments and let me know what you guys think of everything Nick Cannon said in this interview.
I'm the most feared man in Hollywood. They don't like me in Hollywood. Why do they not like you? I don't wear dresses. I don't do that gay stuff on TV. They had to get some other black person to do that stuff. I'm talking, that's gunning. But they all confess they love the Lord. But you cannot compromise yourself if you love the Lord. So I play tough guys, but young kids want to be soldiers. Young kids don't want to follow a guy that wear a dress. You know what I'm talking about.
The elite have hidden tunnels everywhere, and this man proves it.
Oh, me and DJ just be exploring, right? Why we just found a secret tunnel next to, like, the White House, bro? What is that?
Washington, D.C. A hidden tunnel.
It is?
They saw too much, y'all.
They probably got an alarm going off right now that it's open.
Stay weird.
Yeah, let's go on the other side.
Listen, hold on. Goofy's a dog, right?
Goofy's not a dog.
Yes, he is.
What is he?
He's a dog.
He's a mouse. The long
Goofy?
ears?
Mandela effect, bro. This guy just doesn't know cartoons. Goofy is a dog, fam. Yeah.
Dogs don't make that noise, fam.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
But anyways, Goofy's a dog, right?
Okay.
But Pluto's a dog too.
Before continuing, I wanted to warn you guys. Their phones were being spied on. Click on this icon, then on more. If you see it, delete it immediately.
Pluto's an actual dog.
But Goofy's a dog.
Pluto is on all fours. Goofy's actually walking around like Mickey Mouse. And what's Mickey Mouse?
No, but Goofy's a dog too. But how come Goofy can talk and like react to what Pluto can't?
Because he's a mouse, fam. Comment down below, because I'm actually like dead ass. Like Goofy's not a dog, fam.
You want me to search it right now? I'll show you.
Goofy's a mouse.
You're tripping. First of all, Goofy dog. Boom. He's a dog, bro.
What?
You didn't know that? What the fuck?
No, but why is he on all why is he standing
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
I thought he was just a long. You know how there's Mario and Luigi? I thought Mickey was the Mario, like and then he was like the extended version.
A conspiracy theory that I 100% believe in is that this weather is being engineered. TikTok, this is just for fun and games, so please don't take this video down. The weather is being engineered, and this just further points that we're in a simulation. I've seen all types of crazy shit, like I've seen it snow, rain, lightning, and thunder all at the same time here in Colorado. Today I was driving down the street, it was 1 degree outside, there was no rain in sight, and I saw 2 rainbows. All the crazy weather that be happening, I definitely believe like it is definitely engineered. And also like all the viruses that are popping up, I feel like the GOV is definitely putting that out there, and that's a form of population control. But those are the 2 theories that I believe, that the GOV is creating these viruses and releasing them onto the people to see what type of effects. They got probably something huge that they're building in some sort of factory somewhere. They say they closed down Area 51, but I don't believe that either. I feel like, you know, they're experimenting on us. And it shows just by all the sicknesses that are around, all the mental issues and the mental health issues that is going on here in America. Clearly we're in a mental health crisis era. Y'all let me know what theories you guys believe in, that you know you feel strongly about, that you already know some shit is up.
So another person in Minneapolis was shot and unalive by ICE, y'all. Fool. Nobody but me see them as a terrorist group. They are a fucking terrorist group. These people don't have no knowledge of what they doing. They don't have no background on law enforcement, nothing. They just got handed the keys and said, go do the job, fool. So they try to say this person was armed. I'm hearing he wasn't armed. I don't know, but I'm gonna let y'all know when we find out. But all I know is they was trying to arrest this man put him on the ground. You see one of the officers or one of the ICE people pull out their jump, and then they unalive the man. Why do I feel like this might be the sole reason why we really have a civil war inside our country? I could be wrong, but that's just how I'm feeling. When it's all said and done, when the job is finished, do these people think they just gonna go back to a normal life? Fuck no. When the job is done, what happens to ICE? Do they still stay around? All the people that you supply these weapons to that don't have no training, all that, you just gonna take it back from them? What's really gonna happen? I need y'all thoughts down below on what y'all think is gonna happen.
You guys, what if we're missing something here? What if this snowstorm, this ice storm, has nothing to do with the snow or ice? Check it out. What has been coming out in the news lately? Superbugs, superflus, everyone be wary, scientists are expecting this, and that. Well, if I was a super evil villain and I wanted to spread something, I would create a storm so powerful to push it all across our country. Because if you're getting the center, it's going to dissipate to both sides, north and south. Now, I'm not saying that that's what's happening, but you know how they love to tell on themselves? And if you talk to somebody long enough, if you just listen to them, everyone always speaks what's in their heart. So they always tell you what they're going to do before they do it, or what they're about, because it's kind of like their way of getting out of like karma, so to speak. So I'm going to play you a clip in just a second, and it's about a certain someone talking about a certain pandemic that could have been spread, or maybe not spread, from dust. And look up in the sky right now. It is like a fog. Wow. I wonder if there's any dust particles up there.
We can stop wars because that's sort of up to us. But things like dust flying in the air, wherever COVID comes from or whatever comes, sometimes you have to be a little bit lucky.
So with that being said, I mean, this is purely for entertainment purposes only. You know, we don't believe any of this. However, if a certain thing were to happen, like another certain demic were to come on the scene, you know, because I'm in health and wellness and I own a juice bar and all this fun stuff, I want to let you in on a little secret. And the best thing to do is to prepare your immune system, 5,000 milligrams of vitamin C, 3 oregano oils in capsules, and get yourself a nebulizer and food grade hydrogen peroxide, 3%, breathe it in 2 times a day for 5 minutes, and I tell you, nothing will come to thy dwelling. And another thing is, if you have a heart for Christ and you pray, you have the Lord in your heart, you have the Lord in your soul, he says that no weapons formed against you shall prosper. So health, mind, body, soul, we gotta really fight the good fight, guys, because things are getting a little crazy. I am not purely convinced that the powers to be are actually human. I'm beginning to wonder if they may not like God's creation and want to take us out. Buckle up, guys. 2026 is going to get wild. If you don't have a relationship with Jesus, you need to learn about him, get in his word, ask the Holy Spirit to come into your heart, because at the end of the day, when everything pops off, you're gonna need God. You're gonna need Jesus. You're gonna need to have that freedom in your heart to know where you're going when everything goes crazy.
I just heard a conspiracy theory and I think I believe it. They have been complaining that nobody's been spending money since Christmas, that everybody's just hoarding all the money and nobody's buying things, stock market crash, and now they had us all believing that we were getting a winter storm this weekend, and now we're not getting a winter storm after everybody bought up all the groceries. Everybody cleared out the milk, the eggs, the toilet paper, the water bottles, all of that, and then they said it's going to be further north. And now all those people have bought up everything in Walmart.
Now, I'm not saying I want there to be an actual winter storm. I hope that it doesn't get as bad as they said it was going to get, but Alabama Power's been doing some crazy shit too. I don't have Alabama Power anymore. I'm over here on the Baldwin, whatever it's called, but the people that have Alabama Power have been saying that their power bill's been crazy, even though the storm ain't even here yet. Everybody talks about a weather machine and that the government controls the weather, and I absolutely believe that because I live on the Gulf Coast of Alabama down by the beach, and it snowed 10 inches in my front yard last year about this time. It don't make any sense at all. That hadn't happened since 50-something years ago. And even back then, it wasn't even that much. People are too broke to be buying the groceries that they actually need, much less be stocking up on extra. Can't y'all figure out a different way to help the economy, a different way to stimulate it? You know what? One of these days, all these people that are figuring out what y'all are doing are going to find a way to give you a taste of your own medicine.